Tomorrow, MPs here will hope to turn up the heat on representatives of the big six energy companies when they appear before them to answer questions. And they were given a little more ammunition today by the energy regulator, Ofgem. He'd outlined a big increase in profit margins for the suppliers over the last year, while over the same period, wholesale energy prices, which the industry blames for rising bills, have barely changed. So what's the government going to do about it? Here's our economics editor, Faisal Islam.
John, the much-feared energy bill this winter heading for all-time records. Energy prices seeming to rise quickly and then only dropping like a feather, and even then rather rarely. It is the political problem of the autumn. Who gets the blame? The uncompetitive oligopoly of big energy companies lie behind the rising bills, according to top charities Ed Miliband and even Sir John Major. The companies in turn blame government schemes that add to bills meant to encourage energy saving and alternative fuels, and of course then the global energy markets outside of Britain's control. But new figures from the industry's own regulator, Ofgem, are rather damaging for that argument. The figures show the average total bill a year ago was £1,250, and now it's £1,320. That's before the new price hikes, so an extra £70 on last year. But Ofgem also says that the wholesale cost of energy, the cost the energy companies pay to get the gas and electricity in the first place, has gone from £600 to just £610, so barely moving at all. While Big Energy's profit margins, well, they've more than doubled from £45 to £95. That appears to explain almost all the rise in bills. Now, the big six energy groups do dispute how these numbers are calculated, but clearly, if this is anywhere near the truth, a key justification for higher bills falls away, and most consumers are going to feel pretty angry. And some politicians are lining up to squeeze those bigger profits, even through a windfall tax. So now the dispute centres on where to squeeze the energy companies. Labour's going after that £95 profit margin. If it puts a freeze on prices, that margin, they say, will have to absorb any change in wholesale energy costs. The Conservatives are focusing on the £119 in each bill that funds green efficiency and fuel poverty measures, with hints that perhaps half of them will be scrapped, even ones introduced by the coalition itself. Once the Conservatives boasted that they would switch taxes to green sources and that the coalition vowed to be the greenest government ever. But when I spoke to the Chancellor on Friday, he enthusiastically attacked even the notion that energy taxes were green.
I totally reject the idea that the sign of a good environmentalist is that they whack taxes on families and increase people's energy bills. That is not, for me, what a good environmentalist does. A good environmentalist, and this government, I think, has a great environmental record, invests in long-term, low-carbon energy generation, whether nuclear power or other renewables.
The environment versus the cost of living. This is the debate within the coalition, across the country, and within the so-called quad of senior ministers. And it's another indication that George Osborne is pushing to scrap a slew of green charges as his method to reduce energy bills for hard-pressed Britons after Miliband's promise of a freeze. Tomorrow, the energy chiefs face the wrath of MPs up before a parliamentary commission as this debate just begins to heat up. Matt.